Alright guys, AscendantGod here with Raid Shadow Legends. Going to be doing a clan boss fight today, and all my champions now have their War Master and Giant Slayer. I did a previous video where they didn't have the War Master and Giant Slayer yet. Now that they do have it and they're all capped off with their masteries, wanted to do it to show you guys the difference. Some of my champions have their lifesteal sets, like you can see here with Aothar. Some of them, like Nethril, don't yet. He just has a speed set, but he does have defense at least, so I do have him set up to at least try to survive. So I'm going to jump right into this. I did start an attack previously. You can see I'm only one of two keys. In the middle of the fight, it locked up. Gotta love this freaking game. Hopefully they're supposed to be, I'm going to jump right into this here. They're supposed to be fixing some of the glitches in this game in the next patch. Right now this is patch 1.9. Next patch is supposed to be 1.10. Supposed to be fixing them. I'm not going to hold my breath. I just wasted a key. I got absolutely no damage from it. It's just crazy how long this game has been out and how friggin' buggy it is. It just leaves me with a really sour taste in my mouth when trying to show you guys the difference between pre-War Master and Giant Slayer, and 8 minutes in the thing freezes up and then I get absolutely no damage for all of the effort and time I put in. Polarium really needs to get on top of their game over there. So anyway, I'm gonna recover some of the stuff that I was doing in the first video. So some of the things I was trying to explain to you, like I said, I do have a previous video where it's all the same exact champions, but they don't have their War Master, don't have their Giant Slayer yet. So you can take a look at that video, compare it to this one. That's the main reason that I'm doing this one, is to show you guys the difference so you can compare the two. At the end here, hopefully if it doesn't lock up again and I actually get the overall damage that I can show you here at the end, I can go ahead and post it up here compared to, well, obviously I don't need to post that, but I can post the damage from the old video compared to this one, so you can look at what the damage was prior to War Master and Giant Slayer and compare it. And I would not be running with Painkeeper right now if I had any other decent healer to run with. The only other healer that I have currently on this account is Vrask. He would definitely be better. The problem is that I don't have him maxed out yet because I just got him not too long ago. And I'm kind of on the fence of maxing him out just to replace Painkeeper because he's not an ideal replacement. He would definitely be a much better healer than her. However, since healing is the only thing that he brings to the table, he's not the greatest replacement for her. What I'm missing here currently is a counterattack. I would love to have a counterattack in this team. Missing that currently. So say a Skull Crusher would be a great addition. Preferably I'd rather get another counterattack champion that's a legendary, but I'd say Skull Crusher is my best chances. I do have a handful of shards that I'm going to be opening up later on today. So who knows, maybe I'll get Skull Crusher in that. We will see. All these champions have their War Masters except for Nethril. In case you don't know, when it comes to that, the reason, like say for example with Aothar, he has a 2-hit A1. Because of the fact that his A1 is 2 hits and then his A2 that you use for his poison is 4 hits, there was a point where I was almost tempted to go Giant Slayer with him, because if you do a number crunch, the numbers tell you that with the number of hits he does on average overall, Giant Slayer would do more damage. And on paper and technically, yeah, that's true. The problem is that in the game it's usually not the case for one big reason, and it's survivability. As I'm sure most of you know, and if you don't know, one of the big factors when it comes to the clan boss fight is surviving when the damage gets more intense, and to do so, most people tend to run with a lifesteal set. because what that means is that every single time your War Master or Giant Slayer procs, which is for a tremendous amount of damage, you actually top off your champion's hit points. Now, I only have a couple champions with it currently, Khatun here and Aothar. They both have theirs. So you can see she doesn't have much to heal right now, but if it does proc, see the 54,000, obviously it procced, it topped her off. There wasn't much to top off, but when the damage gets more intense later on and their hit points tend to be lower, you'll see that when their War Masters proc, it tops off their hit points, which obviously increases survivability because then I'm not as dependent on my healer. When you have full lifesteal sets, you can really run without a healer at all. And that's what I would ideally love to do. Is if I got Skull Crusher, I would absolutely replace Painkeeper with Skull Crusher, because those added attacks with counterattack would compensate for the loss of a healer with full lifesteal sets. But I do still need to get the lifesteal sets on a couple of champions, Nethril here and Tayrel. Neither of them have theirs yet. Painkeeper is loaded up with 3 immortal sets. It doesn't give me as much healing as lifesteal would, but it's something that I really can't change on her because I need those hit points from the immortal sets. If I swapped it and went with lifesteal with her, she would lose a significant amount of her healing, and her healing has already been nerfed enough as it is, so I don't want to do anything else to hurt that, because then it's just going to reduce the survivability of my champions here. I mean, pre-nerf, I was doing so much more damage. After the nerf, it literally reduced the damage that I was doing to the clan boss at that point in time by about a little more than 40%, somewhere between 40 to 45%. It was insane, the reduction that it caused. It was such a dramatic nerf with her. Completely unnecessary. Now she's not even viable. It's really frustrating that, again, Plarian really needs to get their act together here. I mean, I like this game. It's fun. It's interesting with all the different champions and all the various abilities, but I mean, after the whole Foley scam, it's left a lot of people with a sour taste in their mouth. I know that there's other people that used to do videos on YouTube like this that don't anymore, that stopped specifically because of the Foley scam. But anyway, I still play it. I just don't put in the money that I used to with this, because nothing is safe to invest into. I actually bought some of the tombs that I used to max out Painkeeper, and now it was a waste, because as soon as I can replace her with something like, say, Skull Crusher, I'm never going to use her again. She's getting stripped of her gear, getting placed in the vault, and she'll sit there until if and when Faction Wars ever comes out, so that I have her for that. Otherwise, I would just use her as food. But hoping one of these days Faction Wars will come out. Now see, this is a perfect example with Aothar's attack there as to why it is that you're better off with War Master on him than Giant Slayer. He already had one attack this turn, and he didn't heal himself with it. So he should get another turn before the boss goes, hopefully. I'm actually not even sure if he's going to here. He may not. Nope. See, it just took him out. See, that's why I need better gear on him, and why even with that, that's not good. Alright, so I'm about done here. And with her, I guess I'm gonna go with the speed, because I know has a heal up. Yeah, alright. But yeah, ideally Aothar's attack should have procced, and it would have topped him off with his hit points, and he would have survived, but regretfully his didn't proc. If you have Giant Slayer, it would have been even a lower chance of it proccing, but that's like what I was talking about earlier, of why champions with a 2-hit A1, you want to have War Master, because if they have 2 hits, that means that each hit is 60% chance of getting War Master proc to top off their hit points. If you had Giant Slayer, it would only be 60% each turn for a champion that does 2 hits. With her, she only does 1 hit, so regretfully, she only has a 60% chance each time to top herself off, yet that's just an example of where some of this is just RNG, where hers procced, even though she does 1 hit, and he did 2, and he failed at life, and now he's dead. She's not going to last too much longer herself here, though. I really do need better gear on these guys. That's why. Because even with these lifesteal sets are kind of a starter set, they're not that great yet. So even though they can top themselves off like that, their survival really isn't that great yet. Because look at how much damage that just did to her. She needs more defense. Or hit points. But probably defense at this point. And that's it. Alright, well at least I made it through this encounter without it freezing up. Not the greatest damage, but it's a lot more than what I used to do before War Master and Giant Slayer. My average on this is actually usually a little over 10, so this is a little below average, but again, Aothar didn't heal himself at the end there, and that hit that took out a couple of my champions was really harsh there. That was actually a little premature. I wasn't expecting to take that much damage at that turn, but again, it's not too much less. Normally the average is a little over 10. This is 9.42, so it's within an acceptable range. But anyway, you can see the numbers here from everybody. Sometimes Nethril does more damage here, sometimes Aothar does more. Once I cap out Nethril's skills to increase his chance for the poisons, he'll definitely be my top damage dealer. And even more so of once I get a champion that adds counterattack like Skull Crusher, because then every time he counterattacks, he's also going to have a chance to put more poisons up on the clan boss. Only downside is that is going to top off my debuffs a lot of the time, and may even eventually get to the point where Nethril may be the only poison dealer that I need. Might replace Aothar with some other champion with some other kind of ability, possibly HP burn, but I don't know. That might be a loss. Hard to say. But anyway, you guys can see the numbers here. I'm going to go ahead, now that I have this 9.42 up here, I'm going to post the numbers over here so you can see what the damage was from the prior video, in case you don't want to see the other video that's pre-War Master Giant Slayer. You haven't seen it yet, don't want to waste your time looking at it, you just want to compare it. I'm going to post the numbers up here so you can compare. So the numbers, I'm sure, will be on the screen now, and you can just see those other numbers of the pre-War Master and Giant Slayer damage compared to this, and you can see why it is so important to get your War Master and Giant Slayer. So anyway, that's about all that I have for today, guys. So if you don't have your War Master and Giant Slayer on your champions that you want to run with, definitely get it ASAP. Otherwise, yeah, you can see how much it improves your damage now. So anyway, that is all that I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and catch you then. Hi guys, this is Anthony here, also known on this channel as AscendantGod. Wanted to thank you for checking out my channel here, really appreciate it. Be sure to check out the other videos. I got plenty of goodies on here. Also check out the description sections in the videos. Got plenty of links on there for real different kinds of goodies that I think would be worthwhile for you guys. If there is something in particular that you don't see on my channel that you want to see, be sure to let me know in the comment section as well. And I think that's about it. All I've got. I'm just going to get back to this thing here. I'm pretty sure if I just... Oh,
we have such sights to show you.
wow. That's really funny. Same here.